Just imagine this for a moment. The moon, that silent glowing orb we have looked at for thousands of years, always appearing calm, lifeless, and predictable, suddenly revealing something so strange that even NASA's most experienced scientists were left completely baffled. Because during one of the most recent high-resolution scans of the lunar surface, a strange object was spotted sitting quietly near a shadowed crater, and at first glance, it looked like just another rock among millions of lifeless stones scattered across the barren gray terrain. But when the zoom-in images were analyzed, what appeared was nothing like any ordinary lunar rock. In fact, it looked disturbingly structured, with angles and curves that seemed too deliberate to be natural. Almost as if it was designed or shaped by something intelligent. And that is where the mystery begins, because this wasn't a smooth round boulder shaped by meteor impacts. This was an alien-looking rock, standing out sharply against the natural randomness of the moon's landscape. And what's more eerie is that its surface seemed to carry markings, faint lines and geometrical patterns that looked nothing like the usual erosion or cracks seen on lunar rocks, making researchers wonder whether this was truly a natural formation or something far beyond our understanding. And the story doesn't stop there, because the coordinates of this strange object were kept under tight observation, with multiple orbiters passing overhead. And strangely enough, in the following weeks, the object appeared to shift slightly, almost like it had been moved or repositioned. And here's where things turned deeply mysterious. NASA didn't make a big public announcement at first. Instead, the information was quietly archived. The photographs were stored, and the official reports labeled it as unusual terrain feature. But independent astronomers who constantly scan and monitor lunar data began leaking images online, showing this bizarre, alien-looking rock in shocking detail, with one side reflecting sunlight differently from the rest of the moon's surface, almost as if it contained a metallic component, which only added more questions. Because why would a metallic, geometric-looking object be sitting silently on the barren surface of the moon, untouched for possibly millions of years, unless it wasn't just a rock, but something placed there for a reason? And here's the part that unsettled everyone who saw the footage. When compared to previous archival images of the same crater taken years earlier, the object was not there. It had appeared recently, as if it had been dropped, constructed, or uncovered by some unknown force, which suggests one terrifying possibility. Something or someone is actively doing something on the moon, hidden from our knowledge. And this instantly sparked theories, ranging from ancient alien artifacts buried under the surface, to extraterrestrial technology camouflaged as natural rock, or even a probe left behind intentionally for Earth to discover. And the strange thing is, this alien-looking object is not the first anomaly found on the moon, because decades ago, during the Apollo missions, astronauts reported strange lights on the lunar horizon, odd reflective flashes, and even radio interference that couldn't be explained, all of which were brushed off as technical glitches. But what if they weren't glitches at all? What if they were signs? Subtle hints that something far older and far more advanced had already left its mark on our closest celestial neighbor. And if this is true, then the moon isn't just a dead rock orbiting Earth, but a kind of cosmic vault, holding secrets waiting to be uncovered. And the scariest part is that NASA's silence only adds fuel to the mystery. Because if this was just another rock, there would be no reason to hide data or classify reports. Yet here we are, with leaked images circulating on the internet, amateur astronomers confirming the coordinates, and whispers spreading through online forums that this alien-looking rock might not be a rock at all, but something left behind intentionally, something that could answer questions humanity has been asking since the beginning of time. Are we alone? Or have they been here all along, watching us quietly from just across the skies? And if this discovery is real, then what comes next is not just science, but the possibility that humanity is standing on the edge of learning a truth so big, so unsettling, that it might change how we see the universe forever. Because if a single alien-looking object can appear on the moon, then how many more are out there, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be found? And what will happen the day we finally realize the moon might not just be ours to claim, but a shared place, a cosmic meeting point, a silent witness to things far greater than our imagination. And if you think the mystery ended there, you're wrong, because what followed in the weeks after the alien-looking rock was first spotted on the moon only deepened the suspicion that this was no ordinary discovery, because NASA, despite being silent and public, began quietly redirecting multiple orbital satellites to scan the same area again and again, collecting hours of high-resolution footage and thermal imaging. And while most of that data was kept locked away in private servers, a few leaked screenshots made their way to independent researchers, showing that the strange object wasn't behaving like a lifeless stone at all, because thermal scans revealed subtle heat fluctuations around it. A bizarre finding considering the moon has no atmosphere, and rocks generally cool at a uniform rate after sunset. Yet this one retained a pocket of warmth much longer, almost as if something inside it was generating energy. And the mystery grew further when one analysis revealed faint magnetic interference coming from the same coordinates, an impossible reading for a rock, but not. So impossible if it were something metallic or technological. And this revelation sparked a storm of debates online, because some believed it could be the remains of an ancient alien probe, dormant for thousands or millions of years, while others argued it might be a disguised entrance to a hidden structure buried beneath the lunar surface. And the more people investigated, the more eerie details emerged, like the fact that several Apollo astronauts had previously reported seeing glowing shapes in certain craters, and their communications, though partially censored, hinted at things they couldn't explain. So could this strange alien-looking rock be connected to those earlier unexplained encounters? Or was it something new, something that had only recently arrived, which would mean something or someone placed it there on purpose? And if that's true, then the real question becomes, why the moon? Why now? And why in a place visible enough to eventually be noticed? And here's where things start to sound like a science fiction thriller, except this isn't fiction. Because real leaked documents suggest that every time the object was photographed, its position shifted ever so slightly. Not enough to claim it was moving like a vehicle, but just enough to make people wonder if it was being adjusted. And as if that wasn't enough, one amateur astronomer reported seeing a faint glow around the object during a lunar eclipse, like a shimmer or energy field. Though mainstream scientists quickly dismissed his claims as optical illusions, yet the detail refuses to go away, because multiple other independent observers reported similar flashes around the same area. And the timing of these events is what really unsettled researchers. Every strange reading, every odd image, every shift in position happened during moments when NASA's own missions were either observing or preparing for launches, leading some to believe that the appearance of this alien-looking rock is a message, a warning, or even an invitation. And the darker theory is that it's a surveillance device, quietly monitoring Earth from the safety of the moon's surface, collecting data, sending signals, waiting for the right time to activate. And if that's the case, then it raises the terrifying possibility that we aren't the ones studying the universe, but the ones being studied, watched without realizing it. And maybe that's why governments stay silent. Because how do you tell billions of people that the closest object in our night sky, the moon we've loved and sung about for centuries, might actually be hiding technology from another world? And here's where everything gets even more chilling. Just before the story of the alien-looking rock started to spread online, several whistleblowers reported sudden account deletions, strange phone calls, and even warnings to stop digging deeper, which only strengthens the idea that someone doesn't want the full truth to come out. And that brings us to the most mind-bending theory of all. What if the moon itself isn't what we think it is, because ancient civilizations around the world, from the Sumerians to the Mayans, all spoke of a time before the moon existed in Earth's sky? And legends say it was brought here, positioned perfectly to control tides, life cycles, and maybe even human behavior. And if those myths hold even a fragment of truth, then this alien-looking rock might not just be an isolated object, but a clue, a breadcrumb left behind to remind us that the moon has always been more than it appears, And maybe, just maybe, the alien-looking rock is the first piece of undeniable evidence that proves we are not alone, that proves our history is far more complicated than we've been told, and that the next chapter in human discovery isn't going to be written on Earth, but up there, on the silent gray surface of the moon, where something ancient, intelligent, and possibly still active is waiting to be revealed.